Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Underdog Reacts and I watched Time Bomb Y2K with the tagline "The end of the world as we know it, as we knew it." REM? Is that you? Um, this was a documentary, and this is the first and probably the last documentary that I will watch on the channel, because it was somewhat interesting for the first 20 minutes. And then it just became. It was also interesting because we got to see some different different celebrities that I know and that well we all know probably, but I never saw them that young before. Well, Bill Clinton looked just the same as he did right now, so he hasn't changed much. But we also Al Gore, which I didn't recognize him at first because I thought, wait, vice president. Who was the vice president? So I had to look it up. Oh yeah, Al Gore. Of course it's Al Gore. I should have known that. Um, wait, that's Al Gore. So I looked up Al Gore 1996 because that's the party up from what we saw. Holy shit, that's Al Gore. I didn't recognize him. And we also saw Steve Jobs. Yeah, for the 1996 version of Steve Jobs, I didn't recognize him either. Also, he didn't wear his glasses in that interview, so that's also probably a reason why I didn't recognize him. Well, partially, but also because I've never seen Steve Jobs that young before. We all know Steve Jobs, with the glasses and gray hair. Well, gray hair, not a lot of hair, but the hair that he has is gray. And a turtleneck, and blue jeans. But here he was, in suit, no glasses, brown hair. So I legit just didn't recognize Steve Jobs. It said his name, Steve Jobs. And I thought, wait, that is Steve Jobs? Holy shit! So it was kind of interesting, to see some like I said, some celebrities that we basically all know, but kind of that young, because when the film that was 1996, that was 2 years before I was born, and I'm 27, so that part is 29 years old, so it's understandable that I didn't recognize those characters, not characters, but those people, them, that I didn't recognize them. That said, let's just start with the documentary, shall we? We see a foot. They're standing on a piece of wood, and we see one hand that is holding a stick, and the other one is holding, kind of a bow, like from bow and arrow, and it's, that probably looks very weird if I do it off screen, but he is trying to make a fire. I never tried it that way, to make a fire with sticks, and I don't want to try it because I know I can't. Well, if I really, really try hard enough, I can do it, but yeah, I rather not. I rather not. Give me a lighter. Anyway, so we see him busy, and about to make fire. We then see two stones grinding together, to make some kind of brown powder. I don't know what it is. We see also, wood being chopped, and we see now a group of people maybe prep work. I don't know exactly what they're doing. One is, uh, making leather. One of them. Um, I can't remember what all of the other did. But we saw kind of, in the camera. So, first showing the first one, second one, fourth one, goes to the fifth one, because I think there were 5 or 6 of them. While we hear a guy talk or narrate, the camera zooms a bit in on the work, and now we see the guy who's actually talking. He's sitting in front of the camera, like you see maybe in the office, but then a bit more zoomed out so you can see his full body. Just talking to the interviewer. But we're gonna leave it at that, because if you don't know what's gonna happen next, which you probably don't want to know, watch the movie yourself. The big chance that you're not really interested in. But if you're interested in Y2K, this apparently is an HBO original documentary. Well, I don't own HBO, I can tell you that. Why would I pay for streaming services? I hate streaming services. I hate them. Because you get legit an X amount of movies. Yeah, I know I'm getting off road, but you get an X amount of movies. Still, when I still had Netflix, yeah, they were on Netflix in the Netherlands, they had Rush Hour 1 and not Rush Hour 2, but Rush Hour 3. Dude, why the fuck do you have Rush Hour 1 and 3? Where is number fucking 2? So I've seen Rush Hour 1 and 3, but I haven't seen number 2. And Chris Tucker was talking to Jackie Chan on the plane, and they said something, blah 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 blah, what happened in number 2. But I didn't know that because I haven't seen number 2 yet. So I fucking hate streaming services. Like I said, you pay how much? $10 maybe per month for an X amount of movies. And with the channel that I have, watching a movie every day, you're done pretty quick with all the movies on that channel, on that service. So you take a second service. Then you pay $20 for an X amount of movies. I don't want to pay $50 for 5 streaming services. I don't need that. Fuck off. I legit don't need it. Well, okay, I will tell you, honestly, I don't use streaming services. I use Spotify, but I don't own an account. My sister has a family account, which I'm part of. So, or premium account. So I'm part of that premium account. So she pays for that. The other streaming service that I use is obviously YouTube, because she watches this on YouTube. But otherwise, no. Netflix, no. Disney. I don't use Disney Plus, Netflix, Videoland, which is Dutch, Amazon Prime, which my sister, I think, still has. My mother has Disney Plus, and Netflix. I don't use HBO. Never used it actually. Hulu, I don't think exists here in the Netherlands. Name some other streaming services, where you can watch movies on, and I don't use them. Popcorn Time, I used that back in the day, when it was just new, but I don't use it. So you're asking yourself, where the fuck does he watch all these movies? And I'm not gonna tell you, because I said already probably too much, but yeah. That said, back to the movie. It was definitely fun to see. Allegedly, all that is allegedly. But back to the movie documentary. It definitely was fun to see them making such a big fuss about basically nothing, because we all know that the shit that they thought that was gonna happen didn't happen. For oh yeah, everything's gonna crash. Well, they did say that to two to two plants, I think, had maybe a bit of trouble, but otherwise nothing else. I don't know that for sure that they, but I think I've heard definitely that they say that two places, two specific places, two buildings or something like that, there something didn't work properly when it happened, but sorry, overall it was basically a big fuss about nothing. But I would have loved to see some faces, because from some people, oh my god, it's now gonna happen, 3, 2, 1, and then nothing happens, and oh, I would have loved to see their faces. One of them would be, I don't know, is it Peter the Jager or is it Peter the Jager? Because the Jager is Dutch, for sure. And when I looked him up, apparently he is born in South Africa, where they speak Afrikaans, and that is a combination of English, Dutch, and some other language. But it's partially, as far as I know. So it kind of makes sense why his last name sounds Dutch, and it basically is Dutch. Because if you know some history, South Africa was one of the places that we, as the VOC, the West Indian Trading Company, I think, or East Indian, whatever, one or the other, did some trading, I think. Or yes, I think, well, it has to be South Africa. But specifically what I did, colonized or trading, just trading or colonized, I don't know which of the two it was. Or there's obviously maybe even a third one. It's probably a third one, even though I'm totally wrong about everything. But if you want to correct information, just look it up. There's Google for. But overall, this. But I would have loved just to see his face after because he was the main guy from. Oh yeah, this is gonna happen, and he even, what I read on Wikipedia is that he even got a reward or an award or whatever for it. Okay, good for him, but it's kind of weird because he was totally wrong, and he was heavily advocate for it. From no, it's gonna happen. So why he gets an award for it? I don't get it. It was a decent documentary. Well, it was probably a good documentary, but I was bored after the first 20 minutes, so I didn't really pay attention. So that said, if I would pay attention to it, I probably would be bored too. So I would give the 3.75. So that would be still a decent documentary. But go watch the documentary yourself, which you probably won't do because who was gonna watch a documentary voluntarily? Leave likes, recommend a good movie. Please recommend a good movie. Don't recommend a documentary. Recommend a movie where the computers go haywire. That's a good one. Like Terminator. But if you're gonna recommend Terminator, there's a whole franchise of it. I have to watch the whole franchise, so I have to plan it in. So it will probably be next year that we're gonna watch it then. And there's also a Terminator show, so I want to watch that one then too. So You know, but recommend just a good computer goes haywire movie. Down below in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel, come join Discord. And I'll see you guys later for Season 1, Episode 3 of Squid Game. Yes, I'm gonna continue obviously with Squid Game. And I can't wait for Season 2! I can't wait! But I definitely know that one of them is jump rope. Which I really... I'm disappointed that I know that already, that one of them is going to be jump rope. I don't know which episode, I don't know which season, but I know that one of the games is going to be jump rope, and I'm really, really, really disappointed in that I'm knowing that. Or that's maybe the English version, the American version. If it's American version, I'm glad, because we're not going to watch that one. But if it's the original Korean version, I'm not glad with that. I'm not happy with that, because it means that I've seen a spoiler, and I fucking hate spoilers. And movie spoilers, not spoilers maybe for your car or for your bike, because that's something totally different. But that's why I usually don't watch trailers either, because I don't fucking like them. Because usually with a trailer is you get the best moments from the movie in the trailer. And if you're gonna watch the movie shortly after you've seen the trailer, you know those things, and that's not gonna be fun if you see it for the first time. That's it. I'm gonna leave it at that and see you guys next time. Bye.